sharing horizons that are new to us, watching the signs along the way, talking it over, just the two of us, working together day to day, together. That, of course, is an excerpt of the Carpenters, We've Only Just Begun. That's a great song. Such beautiful chords. Can't believe the harmonies in that song. Listen to it again. So I thought I would look at the chart of Karen Carpenter today. Her birthday just sort of flew past this week, and I thought she'd be an interesting study. One of the best pop groups in the 70s was them, the Carpenters, and she was probably one of the most beautiful voices of all time in any genre of music. March 2nd, 1950 is what I have for her birth date, which makes her a Life Path 2. Now, true Life Path 2s seem to be fairly rare. Most people whose birthday adds up to 2 are really 11s. Anytime you have, if you tally up all the numbers and it comes to 29, you'll add those two together to get 11, and you typically don't reduce it further, but hers actually reduced to 20, and that'll make it 2. So there's not too many around. That's very gentle, creative, sensitive, lunar energy. And she's at probably like a double 2, if you will, because she's really born on the 2nd as well, and having a life path too. So, and it's in Pisces, and that's even more feminine water energy. Cancer rising, that's yet more water right on the ascendant. I'm a Cancer rising. I don't have that much water in my chart, but I do have a Cancer rising. Uranus, right on her ascendant, suggests the physical instability and health issues that every attempt was made to keep it a secret during her life, but this, of course, is an eating disorder, is now common knowledge. And the awareness of it, of course, is largely due to her battles with it and her early death from it. Very tragic. Of course, without knowing her personally, it's hard to know what these complexities stem from, but I bet it stems, upon looking at her chart, from issues with her mother. This is Cancer rising. Cancer is the mother, and that Uranus right on the ascendant has those that unstable energy, right? So Sun is right on midheaven, opposing Saturn, that limiting Saturn, in Virgo in the 4th. So that 4th house is ruled by Cancer. That's more water. Now, that's that, the Sun, there's that bright, vibrant career path and professional reputation opposing probably a very religious and prim and proper upbringing and home life. That's the 4th house. 4th house is the house of the mother and the house of the family values with Saturn in it. So anybody with Saturn in the 4th probably has either a strict upbringing, either a military upbringing, maybe a religious upbringing, or somebody with a lot of rules, a lot of governance. That's limitations, right? And the sign of Virgo, and there's that kind of prim and proper energy if it's not in the right house. I don't know about Virgo being the 4th house. Virgo's really ruled by Mercury, and I don't think it likes to be saddled down in the 4th house, which is typically a better place for the moon. But there's, of course, that led to that probably wholesome image that we all remember. It probably wasn't an act. That was probably we certainly heard it in the music, and I think it was probably pretty sincere too. Some people have a very wholesome image, and then sometimes off stage they're complete maniacs or something. But I don't think that's the case here. Moon in Leo, 3rd house. 3rd house, that's the house of siblings, and Leo is the spotlight or the king or whatever. Now, of course, Leo is also fame too, right? So she was famous with her brother Richard. That's the house of siblings, right? Although I don't think he's a Leo. I think he's a Libra. He's still around. A very, very talented musician in his own right. Kind of overshadowed by Karen a little bit, probably. I mean, as anybody would be, but he offered a lot in that band. And I just saw him on Jay Leno's Garage. He's actually a car guy. That made me happy. I don't know. It was cool. Seems like a cool guy. Now that moon in Leo in the third house opposes Mercury and Jupiter in Aquarius, house 9. That's the house of travel. That's the sign of media. That makes sense for pop music performers to have their Mercury or have Jupiter. They're going to be doing a lot of traveling, and they're going to be doing a lot of performing and talking to people and meeting people. But the Aquarius part of that, with Mercury and Jupiter in Aquarius, probably suggests that maybe their tastes and skill sets may be probably more eclectic than their public persona lets on. I think I can remember hearing a story, something like the Carpenters were sitting at a table at an award ceremony or something with the Zappas, the Frank Zappa family, and I think one of them said, I think it was Richard that said, "My sister and I own every Frank Zappa album." I hope that's true. That would make me happy to think of them listening to Frank Zappa. Frank Zappa's just awesome. Venus in house 8. Now, this is something that popped out at me. This tells us of a relationship or a marriage that probably failed. Anybody with Venus in house 8 probably has a better likelihood of encountering troubles and strifes and deaths of relationships, or in some cases deaths of spouses, or the actual death of the partner, though that's not always the case. Sometimes it might just be the demise of the relationship. Now, apparently that was true. I looked that up after I knew that. I didn't know very much about her personally, but she was married and it ended, and it seems to me like the information on it is hard to come by. There seems to even be a confidentiality agreement, which is rare for perhaps a celebrity marriage to not be all over the tabloids. I don't know if it was or not. It was kind of a long time ago, but certainly information of it's not all that easy to come by. You'd probably have to seek a biography or something. But either way, this is it. Now, of course, I'm wondering that Mercury in Aquarius. Aquarius is, I don't know, that Aquarius has that very uniting energy, and if she has Mercury there, that rules the singing voice and things like that too. So I think that's probably what makes her voice appeal to so many people. I've got a lot of guitar students who are into rock and metal and stuff, and they even dig this stuff. This is how mass appeal their music was. I think anybody that had a pair of ears would probably agree that it's just gorgeous stuff when you listen to it. It's so well produced. So definitely a very beautiful and talented, but ultimately troubled artist, which they seem to go together more common than not, I think. Well, that's it for now.